Hello friends, and welcome to Chatofacts Games. Once again, I'm playing her story. So after the last recording session, I took a quick break. I went on a walk to kind of refresh my mind, and I'm ready to get back into this. I can play for about another hour before I've got other things to do, so let's see how this session goes. So far, it's been mind-blowing. So, I'm going to search for guitar. Yeah, so the guitar came up in on July 1. So let's see how this goes. Sorry, cat tapping my elbow again, trying to get attention. I need to set up a cat cam or something. Alright, so.
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
Alright, so I believe, yeah, the blue pattern shirt, June 30, is Hannah, so Simon liked to listen to her play the guitar, so I'm leaning towards this July one is also Hannah, but let's see what we can find out.
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
Alright. Then let me look at this one really quick. I'm not going to listen to the whole song again, but I just want to see.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay.
Yeah, so this could very well be Hannah, but I can't rule out Eve just yet. I also want to narrow in on the blonde hairs. So let's talk about Rapunzel. Okay, so this is Red Shirt on June 27, so I don't know whether this is Hannah or Eve. MT3, Red Shirt.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
Alright, so that once again seems to be mirroring the stories of these twins, Hannah and Eve. So Eve would see herself as Rapunzel in this situation, but the folk ballad also mirrored the story of these twins. So it's a very curious, like, it seems we're blurring the line between the fiction within this story and the reality within this story, and I'm curious how we're going to sort that out. Huh.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
Once again, I don't know if this is Hannah or Eve speaking. It seems like Eve is the likely candidate.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
What? She acting, or is it like a psych evaluation? Do I want to save those? I don't know. I don't know what's the good of saving any of them. So this is Eve.
You are obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Curious about this, so once again, even though there's 10 entries found, I can only access the first 5, so to find the other 5 I need to find some other method of searching for them. So this is plain blue on, is this June 25? Yes, so this is Hannah.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
Okay. Not sure where she was working at.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
There was a weird little
We couldn't afford our own place.
artifact
Simon
at
dropped
the
out
end
of
of
school,
that.
went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
Yeah, there's a weird little artifact at the end of that. So red, once again, I don't know if this is Hannah or Eve.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You could probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
Okay, so this seems more likely to be Hannah.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
Okay, so I want to look at the cellar Uh, the cellar, windows, and cat plat. Speaking of which, the cat in this room has settled into an open backpack, so he's happy. It's like a box for him.
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
I think Eve kind of had a reason to be resentful of them, but more to be resentful of Hannah than anyone else. Okay, so we've seen this one.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
Alright. Oh man. I can't get a glimpse of this face when the lights keep flickering like that. So, body was found in the cellar. And I've locked in now in my notes that red shirt on June 27 is Hannah. And this is Hannah, so most of these are Hannah.
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people had been there through my things. It's like I'd been burgled. Worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
this is Eve.
it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
So did they do it together? Yep, let's see what I can find.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
Bruise.
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. His body. It didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. It doesn't always wear.
Can I see a bruise in this footage? Does one of them have a bruise and the other doesn't?
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock to dry. Oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you. Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was prettier. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
I'm looking for the mirror because I think that has to do with the murder. What were these two?
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Okay. And this one?
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
All right, so have Eve and Hannah actually been living as the same person? So this is June 25. I've locked that in as Hannah.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
Interesting.
Silver leaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Fascinating. So, let's go mere argument. No, fight. Broken mirror.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other.
Okay, so baby.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. No, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
Miscarriage. Yeah, so we've got a lot to go on here.
Then my parents died.
Yeah, okay.
It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
I want to dig into that because I think there's something suspicious about the way the parents died.
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. was so soon after my miscarriage, the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
Yeah, so she got pregnant again.
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
Again, I'm just staring at this reflection to see if it's Hannah or Eve. Mushrooms.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I'd slept through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way he would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
Death caps. Okay, so I've seen that. Here we go.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
So Eve was living there when the parents died.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on. We got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
Okay, I've looked for the attic before. There's 12 entries. Yep, okay.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers, drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? That seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernized wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there. It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird, in a way it hadn't been before.
Wow. Yeah, this is pretty nuts. So, wig. Yep. But if I narrowed it to blonde wig. Just wig then.
A wig? You mean, what type of wig?
Okay.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
So the police found Eve's wig.
This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
So what about the bruise? Yep.
Bruise? Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. It hurt like hell.
So in this one, hang on, so that bruise is June 25. Is red shirt Eve because Eve doesn't have a bruise, right?
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
She touched the wrong side of her face. Red shirt is Eve. Red shirt is Eve.
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
Got it. Okay. So, I can't trust anything because they've been playing each other. I'm loving this game, but I'm hating it because it means I need to go back through it means I need to keep going back through the assumptions I've made.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Okay, so Carl, yep, anything new? So, all of my assumptions about who's Hannah and who's Eve, those are all wrong, clearly.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
I'm noticing a tattoo And I'm wondering if that's relevant.
No, I was 15. Carl was older, 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's
Tired
really
of us.
important to you.
She slipped.
Family.
She slipped. She said us, not me.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
Okay. And I think the game just crashed again. It is frustrating because I'm enjoying this game immensely, but it keeps crashing on me and I'm not sure what's going on. All right. Yeah.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
There's that reflection again. In editing, I'm going to have to check the freeze frame and see if I can make out a face there. It's always so quick that I can't quite make it out. Right, what is the Ouija board? I think I spelled that incorrectly. Let's go back to Carl.
Hannah was so date. We places in the toilet. But that was it. To hold back.
Ouija. I needed to learn how to spell Ouija. All right.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Dreams? Yep.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Okay, so she has a tattoo on her arm that has her name. And there's tattoos visible, but will it say Hannah or Eve? In the meantime, shows singing.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist. Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
All right, I'm piecing this together. I'm very curious what the end goal of this game is. Like, so in Obra Dinn or The Root Trees Are Dead, you have your progress as you lock in the information you find. I'm curious, do you reach an end goal when you found enough information here, or do you just keep searching until you found everything? Yeah, I'm very curious. Bar. Okay, so she has a tattoo
Are you
of
sure?
a snake and an apple.
What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
Okay, so, July 1 is not Hannah. July 1 is Eve because of her tattoo. So anytime I can see that tattoo, it is Eve.
I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy. But I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them?
Okay, so Hannah couldn't get pregnant after her miscarriage. So Eve got pregnant. I'm gonna have to go back through every single video and reevaluate the context, and it's amazing how they drip feed you this information, but I am just My mind is blown again. Okay. Feels like I almost need to do a reset on my brain. Let's keep going though. Okay, so I'm beginning to pick up which one is which. I'm still not quite sure what happened with Simon. Simon, mirror. There's something. Mirror, silver. Yes, okay, so there's something extra.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
No tattoo. No tattoo, so we're still certain June 30 is Hannah and not Eve.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Yeah, so Simon wanted to start an affair with Eve's alter ego with the wig. Hannah confronted Simon as Eve. Yeah, so Eve was living in the attic the whole time that Simon and Hannah were living there. Okay. I'm searching for random bits and pieces right now.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid, and she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it.
No tattoo, this is Hannah for sure.
Really hate her sometimes.
Yep, okay.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We were made up afterwards. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah, when I was young. We ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him.
We again.
The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth.
Us and me switched in and out.
But I blamed everything on my friend Eve, so my parents let me off.
Okay. I want to see this one again because there's the tapping.
What are you doing talking about Eve? Poor son.
Okay, so I'm curious, there's only one cup there. This is at 3:52. Hang on. 3:53. Yeah. I'm curious why that other cup is missing. Alright, which one was the better driver?
Differences? She's a better driver than me.
Hannah's a better driver.
She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly cried.
Alright, Hannah's the better driver. Hannah's the better driver. Sorry, I keep putting my hands in front of my face and I know that doesn't let the sound come through the microphone very well. So taxi. Yeah, so long sleeves, but she didn't have the bruise, so she was Eve. Eve was. This is Eve.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
All right. Awesome. I just found more info.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
This is Eve. Because of the tattoo.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
So I'm trying to figure out what happened. So, she was out of town when Simon was killed? Or did they set that up later?
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Just want to check the time. So those are pretty close together. There's probably not something in between there. Just want to look for Florence again. I wonder if there's a way to compile each session together all at once and see if there's a gap or something missing there. SB. Nope. Who is SB? It's not going to be Eve or Hannah. It's not going to be Simon. Yeah, I think I'll call it quits there. I just want to see my search history here. Lots of references to Simon. I'm just gonna check Eric quick. Eric, and watch. Eve?
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
Oh, one video on the watch that I haven't found yet.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding.
This is Hannah.
We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Ooh, that hits hard knowing what we know. All right, well, I'm going to pause there. Once again, if you enjoy what I'm doing, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Have a great night.